3, 2, 1, Smash Mouth Sports. We are live. We're going to get back to football. We want to thank Andrew DiPaolo again, long snapper for the Minnesota Vikings, for coming in, streaming live, jumping on the show. We could not be happier about that. So we were going to go over all of the playoff games with him. We did a little pre-show, and I got to say, Cam, I like the guy. Great guy. Glad he came on. But when you hear a football player say, yeah, I don't really like football, I'm like, what is going on? What did you think of? Well, we're going to get into the picks. What did you think of when he said that? What did you think about when he said that?
I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't really surprised. These guys are around the game so much between the offseason in a normal year, between the offseason workouts and training camp and meetings and OTAs and the season starts and two-a-days. When they're away from the field, the last thing they want to think about is football. I'm not surprised by that at all.
I was stunned by it. I was stunned by it. Look, I get it. You know, it was funny. He was workouts. You know, it's true. When you're a long snapper, you know, he could work with you at the grocery store. Okay, he could work with you at a grocery store.
The Patriots long snappers in the Navy.
He could get the milk. He could get the dairy. He could get the fruits and vegetables, whatever it is, and or sales. You know what I was trying to get at. I don't know how he took this, but what I was trying to ask is obviously I'm not going to – the guy makes $500,000 a year.
Correct.
Okay? If you're in the NFL, well, worst guy on the team, you're making $500,000 a year. Obviously, even if you only make a team once every 2 years, that's better off than being at any – so I can understand that. But what I was saying is I wonder at what point – and maybe he doesn't think this way, and that's fine. It's good not to think this way, but – at what point, after 4 or 5 years of barely making the team, there's one long snapper. There's only 32. There's 32 jobs in the world at his spot.
Correct.
That's kind of hard to do. That's kind of hard to do. So, but especially when you don't watch the game, you don't follow the game, you don't follow the draft. If it was me, first of all, I love the draft. Obviously, he would be a terrible guest for the draft show we're doing in a couple months because he doesn't follow the draft. And we would say, hey, do you want to come on in April? He's like, what goes on in April? So I would just think as a player, as an NFL player, your team, you would think you'd have a vested interest in your team.
Right.
But let's jump into the playoffs. First, there's 4 games. Round two of the playoffs. Round 2, the Rams versus the Packers. The Packers are 6.5-point favorites. Now, you said last week you expect the Packers to lose. Do you stand by that?
No, I do not.
The best way. That's the great part, Cam, about making your bold statement.
I expected them to lose to the Buccaneers, but because of the Rams upsetting the Seahawks, they're playing the Rams.
Right. Now, the Rams started your boy John Wolford last week. You predicted this correctly, that the Rams would win. Now, they ended up bringing in Jared Goff. And Jared Goff played well, considering he had a broken thumb. I thought that was crazy. It was crazy that he played, crazy that they didn't start him. It was like 15 things crazy about that game. Half of them involved Jared Goff. The other crazy part of this game, the Rams defense played absolutely elite. I thought Pete Carroll did a horrible job. And the second half of the season, I thought Pete Carroll has done a horrible job. I thought Carlos Dunlap. Yeah. I thought Carlos Dunlap, Jamal Adams, I thought they'd make enough plays to win. They didn't. DK Metcalf, I am no longer on the DK Metcalf bandwagon. No longer. I am done with DK Metcalf because he's a guy that looks like an all-Olympian. He looks like a gold medalist. This guy looks like he checks every single box. He is Vernon Davis 2.0. For those that don't know, the great Mike Singletary said about Vernon Davis. Vernon Davis was 6'5", 265 pounds, could run for days, could jump for days. 4'3", 4'4", 40 for a guy that big. Can't win with him. Can't play with him. Can't win with him.
Coach with him. Can't do it.
All of that. That's DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is the physical guy you draw in a lab somewhere. He doesn't have half the heart of Julian Edelman. He doesn't have half the heart. He's got twice the body. Okay, don't take that the wrong way, but he's got twice the body, twice the physique, but he doesn't have the heart. Julian Edelman and his 5'9" on a good day, dilapidated body, gives you everything he's got.
Runs through a brick wall.
DK Metcalf could easily run through a brick wall. Nah, Doesn't feel like it because he doesn't feel emotionally charged. Go ahead.
I guarantee. I guarantee you.
What are you, the Macho Man, Randy Savage? Oh yeah, brother. Let's hear the tape, brother. Go ahead.
I guarantee you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That screen pass that got intercepted and taken back for a touchdown.
Yep.
Because DK Metcalf, the series before, went to the sideline and got all hot and bothered. That Kyle Schottenheimer, the Seahawks offensive coordinator, who was fired yesterday.
Yep.
He said, we got to get DK back focused, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a screen pass for him, get him back engaged. He's going to catch the ball, then he'll be refocused again. He'll be back engaged. I guarantee you that was a purposeful, schemed, drawn-up play, and it backfired tremendously.
Yeah, the broadcast, Schrankman, and the whole crew, they were talking about how quiet it was because of obviously the lack of fans, and they said, yes.
You could hear him getting angry.
You could see him getting angry. You could see him yelling. You could see him going buck wild, and the other team heard that, and the other team knew that. That's why they played press coverage. I believe, who was it, Williams, that picked off that pass to the house? Williams picked it off, took it to the house. Rams played great. Now, the problem with the Rams, sometimes there's a little bit of luck that goes involved. They have the unfortunate task of playing against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who have been playing out of their mind. And unfortunately, with Jared Goff's broken thumb, look, Jared Goff played good enough to beat a crappy Seattle team. They're not going to beat the Packers. They're not going to be able to put up 30-plus points against this Packers team. Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind. Devontae Adams out of his mind. The running backs are playing out of their mind. I do not expect – plus, in addition to Goff being banged up, their best player, Aaron Donald, has broken ribs. And he's questionable, if not doubtful, for this game.
Well,
so that's another thing.
He said today he plans to play. I'm not surprised. It's the playoffs.
Okay. He's got broken ribs.
There's only one way I say the Rams can win this game.
Let me say this. Oh, we're going to get to that, but let me say this. When the Packers guards punches him in the ribs, good luck with that.
Well, I'm sure he's going to take a needle and he'll be wearing a flak jacket or whatever they call that big rib protection.
He can take 9 needles and take 9 flak jackets. When the guards for the Packers, who are phenomenal, when they grab a hold of Aaron Donald and they punch him in the ribs, Conor McGregor style, he's going to be in pain. But let's hear your theory.
There's only one path to victory for the Rams in this game. And it's plausible because it's an elite matchup.
It's not plausible, but go ahead.
Jalen Ramsey has to take Devontae Adams out of the game. He needs to go on him one-on-one and make him a non-factor and make Aaron Rodgers go elsewhere. If he can take Devontae Adams out of the game, the Rams have a chance.
Okay, I still don't think so. The Packers are 6.5-point favorites. Yes, Devontae Adams is the bulk of their offense. However, they do have Valdez-Scantling. They do have Lazard. They do have some other guys that are okay. Their tight end is good. You've got Aaron Jones, who's good at the running back. You got Jamal Williams, who's good at running back, and you got A.J. Dillon, who's the big power back, 6 foot, 250 pounds. The poor man's Derrick Henry, who has been coming along the last 3 or 4 weeks. There's no scenario that the Rams are going to win. I would take the Packers. I would bet the house. I would take the 6.5 points. So no, you never say never. The one thing that Andrew DePaul was saying, which is right, the playoffs is the playoffs. That's true. You never really know. But now we're on to Cincinnati, or in this case, we're on to the Ravens versus the Bills, 8:15, Saturday night. I'll tell you what, I like this matchup a lot. I like this matchup. This is going to be a tough game. The Bills are 2.5-point favorites. I like the Bills to squeak out a game. I think Josh Allen's playing well, although last week the Colts gave Josh Allen, that team, all they could handle. They did not cover, which was surprising to a lot of people. So the Ravens are going to make it. The Ravens are going to make this game a fight, which they do.
This will be competitive, absolutely. And this weekend could be a bit of a changing of the guard between the GOAT matchup we'll get into later on, and these two great young stars in Jackson and Allen, the reigning league MVP and Allen. He's not going to win it, but he was in the conversation this year. This could be the next great quarterback matchup in the league. These two, Jackson and Allen, or one of them.
It could be. Lamar Jackson is a great player. He is dynamic, but he's been
great the last few weeks.
He's been great at running the ball. He's still very immature when it comes to his passing ability is very limited.
The field the other day, I didn't like not shaking the other team's hand, but that's another story for another day.
Let's not get in. Okay. You know what I did like? First of all, they beat the Titans, right?
Yes, they did.
The Titans have been a bunch of buttholes. Okay. And I'm just going to say it. The Titans have been buttholes. The Titans have been jerks.
Well, they're coached by a chief butthole. I mean, I love Mike Vrabel, but I'll be the first to tell you he's a jerk.
Right. And I loved it. When they stomped on the midfield of the game, I loved it. I normally don't like that kind of stuff, but the Titans deserved it. The Titans deserved it. So, yeah, so I'll take the Bills, 2.5 points. It could be close. Baltimore could win. Baltimore's got a real defense, but here's what I was saying. In that game in the second quarter, the only reason, and Dan Orlovsky talked about this on ESPN, the only reason the Ravens won that game is because of that long 50-yard touchdown run in the second quarter with a couple minutes to go that he ran in. That's it.
No,
if he doesn't run that play in, the Ravens lose that game.
100%.
So the Ravens can beat the Bills because the Bills' defense is terrible. But I don't think the Ravens' offense can catch up with a shootout with the Bills. I just don't believe it. Josh Allen, for a while there, everybody thought, it's definitely Lamar Jackson, and then it's Josh Allen. No. It's Josh Allen.
He's the best
and Lamar Jackson.
Draft. Yes,
Josh
absolutely.
Allen is far, far, far handed away the best quarterback in that draft. You have to treat Lamar Jackson like a running back, like a wildcat, like a gadget. He is great, but he's not going to throw 50 times for 370 yards and 4 or 5 TDs. It's just not going to happen. I understand a year ago he got MVP, but the way Baltimore wins is power running the game, running for 200 yards, Lamar Jackson getting 100, the team getting another 100, and playing good defense and winning 20-17. That's the only way this team can win. They cannot win a 45-37 shootout against the Bills. Can't happen.
My favorite part about this weekend is you can make an argument that 7 of the 8 quarterbacks are top 10 Pro Bowl caliber quarterbacks with the exception of Jared Goff. This is
I got to stop you there. What about Baker Mayfield? He's not a top 10 quarterback. Are you out of your mind?
He has been this year.
Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback. As usual, you've derailed the show. Baker Mayfield is a top 10. Okay.
I think he's 9 or 10, but this year he's been in the top. He's been great these last 2 years.
It's not a top 10. Are you out of your mind? Look, I don't want to say this on air, Cam, but you have got an affiliation for Baker Mayfield that goes way beyond football. Okay, I watched the Tiger Woods documentary last night, which we're not really going to get into, but it was great, by the way. I'm starting to think that you're going to be the Rachel Yucatel to the Baker Mayfield. That's where this is going here. You want to be one of these Denny's waitresses that Baker Mayfield has an affiliate. Why on earth do you think Baker Mayfield is a top? We're talking about the quarterbacks, and you're first of all, you said Jared Goff's a top 10 quarterback. He's not. You said Baker Mayfield,
with the exception of Jared Goff.
You said Baker Mayfield's a top 10 quarterback. He's not. And some people don't even feel Lamar Jackson is a true, pure quarterback.
But this weekend, you have the GOAT, Brady. You have
we're not getting there yet. Tell me why Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback.
This year, he has been.
He hasn't.
The second half of the year, he has been very good. Not great, very good. He's doing his job. He's not turning the ball over near as much as he used to. Okay,
so you mean handing the ball off? Yes.
Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league at handing the ball off. As far as quarterbacks go, handing the ball off, he's great. At handing the ball off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, he's done a great job of handing the ball to his great running backs and his great offensive line. By the way, his right side of his offensive line, if you saw it this week, number one, Pro Football Focus. They're literally number one. They're not top 5. They're literally number one. The right side of his offensive line is number one. They're as good as you get. And he's got 2 top 5 running backs, and he's got great tight ends. He's got great receivers. I just knocked the slide over. Okay? So the point is, you got me so fired up here. That's ridiculous to say that he's a top 10 quarterback. That's absurd.
All right, let's get into Browns Chiefs.
You've derailed the show.
Let's get into Browns Chiefs. Let's do it.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to touch on why you think he's a top 10 quarterback. That's what we're going to do. You've derailed the show. Here we go. Okay. Let's take a look. I'm just going to see where Baker Mayfield ranks. I'm just going to go really quickly. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but since you brought it up to derail the show, let's take a look here at touchdown passes. Of course. Let's see here. Of course it goes to postseason. Well, unfortunately, the postseason, for some reason, the postseason stats came up here. So you dodged the bullet. You dodged the bullet while it's loading. Let's get into the game. We'll cover that. We'll cover that later on why you think Baker Mayfield is a top quarterback. Are you going to tell me Baker Mayfield is better than Russell Wilson?
No.
Tom Brady?
No.
Drew Brees?
No.
Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Josh Allen?
No.
Who else do we got? Lamar Jackson?
No.
Deshaun Watson? Did we say Deshaun Watson?
No.
Okay. So we're already at 7. Let's take a look here. Aaron Rodgers. We didn't name Aaron Rodgers. That's 8.
No.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert. Wait a minute. Baker Mayfield is better than Dak Prescott?
You're talking about the guy who missed almost all of the year and has lost like 8 of his last 10 starts? I like Dak, but
Baker Mayfield over Dak Prescott? Wow. Talk about losing your credentials. Oh, my God. You got to be joking me.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert is better.
For right now, Baker is, but in the long run, I'd
You think Baker is better than – okay. Just say it. Just say it. YouTube, Cam has a crush on Baker Mayfield. Just say it. Just get it out of the way and say it. There's no other logical reason. You want to go to Denny's with Baker Mayfield.
Oh gosh. No, first of all, we've done a video.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Let's get into the Browns Chiefs game.
I tried to get into it because you're taking your love for Baker Mayfield. Don't think the Cleveland fans are going to take you back because they don't want you taking their quarterback to Denny's at 3 a.m. Oh my God. This is just all right. Who's going to win, Cam? Browns or Chiefs? Don't tell me the Browns because of the great and almighty Baker Mayfield. Is that what you wanted to say?
No, the Chiefs will win the game. But tell me what the spread is.
Oh, my God. The spread is 10 points.
The Browns will cover.
Really?
Yes. Because the Browns have the recipes to give the Chiefs a hard time. They can run the ball. They can control the clock. They have a solid defense. The Chiefs will win. Mahomes and that offense will go. When Mahomes and that offense click it into high gear, you can't stop them. Period. You just can't stop them between Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey and Hardman and Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, the Browns may cover because it might be 30-20 late, and the Browns might kick a last-minute field goal. The Browns could score a cheap touchdown and make this game closer than it has to be. Yes, from a betting standpoint, unless, put it to you this way, the Browns had a 28-0 lead 10 minutes into the game, and they still were in danger of losing the game.
Correct.
And they would have had a chance of losing the game if Mike Tomlin had not done just a horrible job of coaching. In the fourth quarter, it's 4th and 1, and he punts in the fourth quarter.
With the momentum. He gets all the momentum back to Cleveland.
Are you kidding me? That was the worst decision I've seen in the playoffs so far. So, yes, I take
that or Frank Reich's decision to go forward on 4th and 4. I agree.
It was worse than that because you can at least with the Titans, it was at least a close game. That Steelers game, the whole game, they were down 28. The whole game, they were in 4-down territory. You finally get within 10 or 11 points and you punt. Why not try to get a touchdown, get within 3 or 4 points? Then that puts the pressure on the Browns.
Correct.
You flip the momentum. Instead, all you did is you punt it back to them. They're up 10 or 11. Then the Browns got another touchdown. It would have totally changed the momentum of the game. I thought Tomlin did a horrible job. I thought he did the worst job of any team to manage an 11-0 team we've ever seen. And you know what else I want to say before we go to the final game? The other problem, he rested his starters in Week 17. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over again with Peyton Manning's teams specifically that have been 13-2, 14-2, whatever it is, late in the season. They rest the last game and they get steamrolled in the playoffs.
They get rusty.
They get out of sync. Absolutely. Last game is Bucks and the Saints. Andrew DiPaolo takes the Bucks. I am taking the Bucks. The Saints are only 3-point favorites. Now the Saints have whipped the Buccaneers twice. They whipped them the first game because Tom Brady wasn't ready. They whipped them the second game because Arians had a horrible game plan.
They just
got Antonio Brown. All the team was in love with Antonio Brown. They thought he was going to be their savior. These last 3 or 4 weeks, Antonio Brown has played elite. He now plays within the system, the confines of the system. And like Bruce Arians said this week, do your job. He's starting to copy Bill Belichick a lot more lately. Maybe Bruce Arians will be offered the Medal of Freedom by Donald Trump these last couple of days. What do you think about that, Cam?
No, maybe so. And I think what you just said about it, it feels like since that Chiefs game and the bye week, about a month and a half ago, when things really started to look bleak for the Bucs, it feels like since that point, Arians has deferred to Brady and understood that he has the chance of a lifetime here, the greatest of all time, has chosen to come play for him, and he understands, I need to maximize this opportunity. Since then, he's played Brady style, dink and dunk. They've risked it for the biscuit a couple times just to keep him happy. But here's my thing about this game this weekend. Tom Brady is an underdog on the road against a team that has kicked his butt twice this year, and he's on a mission because he wants to shove it up Bill Belichick's you-know-what. If you want to bet against him in that situation,
we're going Baker. We're getting Baker Mayfield raw here. We're going full Denny. We're going full Denny's. We're going full Denny's here,
if
Cam.
you want to bet against Tom Brady in that situation, be my guest. Do it at your own will. I'm not going to. When you, as we've seen it so many times, when he has that chip on his shoulder in a situation when everyone's casted him off, that's when you see him play at his truly all-time great level that only he can reach. If you want to bet against him in that situation, hats off to you. I'm not going to. I like the Bucs this week.
I like the Bucs as well. So I like the Bucs. The Bucs play the Saints Sunday night. It's a Sunday night game, the prime time game.
Of the week. Odds are this is Drew Brees' last year. I think everyone feels like this is his last hurrah.
This is his last year. This is his last game. And I love Drew Brees. He's 42. He just turned 42. He's still got banged up. He played great last week. He played for.
Oh, he was tremendous. Absolutely.
For being banged up.
Good defense.
He played great. But here is the thing that people are missing. The Bucs still have the best run defense in the NFL, number one. I understand we don't have Vita V. That's a big loss, 6'5", 350 pounds. We still have the best run defense in the league. Alvin Kamara is not going to be able to run buck wild like he has the last couple weeks when he's played. So that's going to be an edge for the Bucs. The Bucs with Tom Brady have done a better job with Chris Godwin, with Gronkowski, with Cameron Brate, and Antonio Brown getting the check down, getting the screens into the system. And Mike Evans, I cannot say enough positive things about Mike Evans. Mike Evans bailed out the Buccaneers last week. Coming in the second quarter, Chris Godwin played the worst game of his professional career. Stone hands. It hit him square in the hands, stone hands for a touchdown. Missed that, and he had about 4 or 5 other drops.
He's lucky that guy on the Bears dropped it. Otherwise, you would have seen that clip of him dropping that touchdown all week.
Yeah, it was terrible. So we're getting all kinds of tweets here, all kinds of people tweeting the show. Everything's going well. Buck wild. Yeah, great show. Tom Brady. Don't bet against Tom Brady. Tom Brady is
the GOAT.
I'm going to say this right now. I've been so impressed with Tom Brady at 43. I thought it was crazy when I heard people saying Tom Brady is going to play to be 43, 44, 45. How about this? What if Tom Brady plays till 53? 53! How about that? 53. I want Tom Brady for the next 10 years. I want Tom Brady.
Changed your culture.
He's changed the culture for the better, for the good. You know, it's like
no matter what the result of this season is for the Buccaneers, and he's already confirmed he's coming back next year, so he's gonna play for you guys next year. No matter what happens these next 2 years, whether you guys win a championship or not, I think that he belongs in your Ring of Honor because he's completely changed the organization and the culture of the team into a winning organization focused on football. I think I'll go
a step further. By the way, like and subscribe to the channel. Before I forget, hit me up, Smash TV. Make sure you comment, but you have to subscribe and like. I would change it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Tom Brady Ring of Honor. That's what I would do. I would go a step further. Tom Brady is the GOAT. And I'm going to say this before we wrap this up. Bill Belichick has had a crazy season. He had to turn down the Medal of Honor. You know, I understand with all the circumstances that should have happened, but I've heard from more people than you would think on Twitter that said that he should have accepted it. I understand why he didn't. But if there was one player, I understand why he didn't do it because it did. Donald Trump was giving it to Bill Belichick because they were friends, because he, in a way, Donald Trump was trying to get bailed out by the circumstance. He did just get impeached today, for those that are watching this live. He did just get impeached today for the second time. So that ends his time. I probably won't make it the last 7 days. We'll see how that whole situation goes. But do you want to comment on that, Cam, about the Medal of Freedom with Bill Belichick?
Well, here's my thing. I am always of the mind, whether you agree with the president's politics or not, that if he invites you to the White House, you go. I hate it when players make the White House trip when they've won a championship a political statement. No, that's not when you do it. The president of the United States has invited you to the White House. Whether you agree with his politics or not, you go there and shake his hand. That's how I've always felt. After last Wednesday, I can't say that he should have done it, because with all the negative PR around the Trump campaign right now and the Trump White House, I understand they've been friends for a long time. His players from the McCourtys wouldn't have liked it. It would have made future free agents look bad. And above all else, I think it would have hit him where it hurts the most, in the wallet. I think sponsors were telling him no. I mean, everyone's distancing themselves from the president right now. The PGA Tour is not going to hold any more events at its courses. Everyone's distancing themselves from the president as we speak right now. I think he had no choice. He couldn't have gone. He couldn't have.
No, I agree. I agree. And for those that don't know, obviously our show's on YouTube. YouTube was the last shoe to drop. Earlier this morning, YouTube banned Donald Trump's channel. I think he had 3 or 4 million subscribers, whatever the number was. They banned Donald Trump's channel. You're right. The Trump hotels have been taken off the list of pretty much all the sports teams. The PGA Tour are no longer going to hold events at Trump Casino and Trump Golf Course and Trump events. Pretty much Trump has been deplatformed from every outlet and every platform imaginable. So the one thing about Donald Trump is he always rebounds. Now, he has been taken off every platform imaginable. So I do expect these next 2 to 3 to 4 months, things will be ramped down. And what I mean by that is, in a week from now, he's going to go off into the sunset.
He's going to live on a resort in Florida.
He'll be in the resort in Florida, a couple hours away from where I'm at. So naturally, he won't have the voice with Twitter and so forth. So tensions will be eased down. And I'm sure within a period of time, Twitter and the rest of the groups will come back, and the PGA Tour will come back, and all the golf courses will come back. And also Deutsche Bank, who have given him hundreds of millions of dollars of loans throughout the year, also severed ties with him as well, and the Trump organization. So he has been hit through every level imaginable, Donald Trump. So I understand why Bill Belichick didn't do it. If there was one coach, what makes it bad for Donald Trump is if there's one coach that could have withstood the back draft and the backlash, it'd be Bill Belichick.
Correct.
So
either him or Nick Saban, right?
No, it's Bill Belichick. Why do you feel the need to throw in Nick Saban?
I'm just saying the guy's on that level. That's all.
Well, yes, as a college, not the NFL. So there's Pee Wee, there's college, and then there's the elite of the elite. Just knock the slide over again. I'm gonna smash the slide, break the slide here. But yeah, so that's the deal with that. So again, like and subscribe to the channel. Great show. We're gonna tweet this out. Thanks again.